And welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is I'm forming a gang. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who's supported the company so far. If you haven't got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's M-U-R-D-Y creative.co. Or you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching at murdycreative.co to see the best of our product shots. Follow us to keep up to date with our daily photos and be the first one to know about new product launches. You can also use the subscribe button at the bottom of our website to be included in all of our new product announcements. Be sure to check out our laser engraving, personalization options, and exclusive colors on the website, or you can get a blank one on Amazon Prime. All right, so first and foremost, I wanted to let you guys know that the Travel Cut Murdy number 3 is now available for pre-sale. It's going to be launching November 1st, so that's a Friday. We had a limited number that we were looking to start with, and we've been kind of working through those. So if you're interested in it, be sure to get yours right away before we run out. And we're hoping to have them regularly available, maybe by Christmas, but be sure to get them right away just so you don't miss out. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was, just on a brief note, this is a bone folder. I actually created this afternoon for our purposes. I haven't got to make tools for my own shop in a long time, and I was really excited about it. It's a tool we desperately need now that we're doing more of the number 3s, and it's an important way to crease and fold leather. So for those of you who are looking for a little trivia about leather crafting, that's one way that a bone folder can be made and can be used. But moreover, I wanted to talk today about the fact that I'm forming a gang. And it's funny how important this topic is, even though we don't necessarily think of it that way. Another word for it is hiring. But I don't like hiring. I don't think it's the right attitude. A lot of companies talk about how they're hiring more people. And, I was listening to Dr. Peterson's podcast from this last Sunday, and it was funny. He talked about it in the podcast, and it was so relevant for what I was doing and what I am doing now that I thought, I got to bring this up to the podcast topic at large because it's a good point. So when you're growing up as a child, right, your parents and maybe your childhood friends kind of socialize you. They help you learn what's right and wrong. They give you a sense of purpose. They usually provide some level of structure in your life. But at about 13, 14 for men, and everybody, but men particularly, there's a change that goes on, and people distance themselves from their parents, everybody. And at that point, you see, a lot of times that's when men join gangs, and it's not particularly exclusive to men, but it's, more prevalent in that community than in others. And the advantage, I think, of gangs, and, I think this is underrated in many places, but they provide a certain level of organization and structure. And it's funny because it's not whether or not you join a gang, it's what kind of gang do you join. Now, for me, I joined the theater, I got involved in academic clubs, I created a gang of my own, surrounded by good people, and I was really glad I did, and I was very fortunate that I was in a situation to do that. But I think right now, as we look to hire more people for the Murdy Creative Company, it becomes far more important to talk about what that means, right? To talk about what we're trying to build here. Because I've been thinking about what kind of company do I want to run in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 100 years? What kind of company do I want this company to be? So I hated the concept of mission, vision, and values when I was in school, and maybe I'll talk more about why at some point. Let me rephrase it. I can tell you about it now. I thought that they were an exercise in futility. I thought that, why would you create a mission statement, a vision statement, or a values statement when you're just going to end up doing whatever needs to be done to keep the company afloat and to keep it going? I realize now that that's actually not how it works. You need to have core purposes, both to why you're doing things, but then moreover, like the why is important, but then the how do we do things is really important too. I mean, that's the difference between, and what do we want to do in the future, right? That's mission, vision, and values. So I've been crafting those for our company, and I've been thinking about why it matters, because it's easy to go down every rabbit hole. For me particularly, it's been very, very tempting to just take and just run down every path. And I get a lot of suggestions for products that we should launch. And trust me, we're doing it as fast as we can. We're launching about a product a month now, or even faster. So, be patient for those of you who have been wanting things from us. We're working on it, but these things take time. But at the same time, I've had to think through, what do we want for our future? And how do we structure it so that it makes sense when we're launching things, so that we don't get ourselves too far down a path that we can't recover from, right? And so I've been thinking about the mission, vision, and values, and I've been thinking about the company And there's a lot of discussion about corporate culture in the hiring world and in the business world in general. What kind of corporate culture are you trying to craft and create? And that's an important question, because the way people work and what they work at is huge. People look at work in a somewhat of a negative light, I think, in many cases, but it's a very important part of our lives, right? It's how we find meaning. It's for a lot of us, and it's how we find a certain sense of accomplishment and success, not beyond the fact, of course, that it's, how we feed ourselves and keep ourselves in shelter. So, work is ennobling and important, and how we do it matters. So I think from a corporate culture standpoint, we should definitely be considering creating working environments that are conducive and encouraging for our team and our people. And that brings me back to the gang I'm forming, because as I've been thinking through, what kind of company I want us to be, right, beyond just the we make good things, right? What kind of company do I want us to be? And I've been thinking about, what do we need when it comes to hiring people? Because we're coming up on Christmas, so we need to bring on some help. And, beyond that, we've had a lot of growth over the last year, so we're going to continue to need to bring on help in different areas. And I realize that it's like forming a gang. If you bring on people who are exceptionally competent, who are really, really bright people, but at the same time, they can't respect the history of the company, they can't respect the decisions that have been made by the leadership, they can't respect, their fellow coworkers who may have other ideas or who may have been there longer and may have better, understanding of situations and situational environments. They may not be the right person, right? It's not about necessarily forming the team that's got the most talent. It's about forming the team that works the best to accomplish the goal. And, that's why I look at it as like forming a gang. It's not as simple as I'm looking for people who can do the work, because while I am looking for people who can do the work we're doing, it's not hard physically. It's hard mentally, because you have to commit to the excellence and quality that we need, right? We have created a brand that's built around the very best designs and the very best execution of those designs, right? There's two parts to that, right? It's not just about creating the coolest thing, it's about executing that design in its best form. So we need people who aren't just going to come into work and just put things together haphazardly, and who are going to package things poorly, and who are going to leave. And, that's the end of the day. We need people who are going to come to work excited about the craft that they're doing, who understand the history behind this, and who have a better sense and a better grasp than most of the importance of writing and journaling and doing it with good tools in our lives, right? We need people who can understand that. And that goes beyond just being good at putting things together. That goes much deeper. So I'm forming a gang, and I'm working on trying to find the right people who can fit into that, who can understand that culture, who can be part of it in a way that is more than just doing the work. And it's a competitive hiring environment. I'm not going to lie. We've struggled to find people that fit that bill, who have the right attitude and the right, not that they really need that much experience, but the right understanding of what we're doing things here. Because everybody's hiring. I walked into 4 stores today, and I think 3 out of the 4 had help wanted posters, or were hiring, or were, handing things out at the cash register. So it's hard to find people who are both competent, who understand what we're trying to do. But that's what it is, right? That's what it is to start something. The successful part of our business has driven us to need more help. And I think that's great. That's exactly what we're hoping to do, and, hoping to accomplish, is just continued growth and continuing to create and make great things. So if any of you know anybody who are in the Milwaukee area who's interested in becoming an assembly person here, or a maker, as we call them, I'm happy to talk with them. Send them my way. You can message our email directly at sales@murdycreative.co if you're interested, and we're looking for help. And for those of you out there who are also hiring and who are thinking about bringing help onto your team, if you haven't already, spend some time thinking about what you want your team to look like in the future. What kind of ideal world would it be if you had exactly the right team? And, hire people for that goal, not just people who have good resumes or people who necessarily might fit the bill perfectly. look for the people that fit the team and fit you and your management or leadership style, because that is really, really important in team dynamics. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to check back on Thursday for a full breakdown of the Travel Cut Murdy number 3. I'm going to do a whole podcast just on its design and the elements of it that I think are important and how it was put together in the first place and how we ended up designing it and some of the adaptations that we've just continuously been working on and why it took so long for it to come to market. So check out that podcast on Thursday. And be sure to hit that subscribe button below to be sure to get the latest podcast right away when it launches. If you have any questions or concerns about your leather binder, please feel free to contact us on the main page of our website at murdycreative.co, or you can contact us via Instagram and Facebook. You can email, call, direct message, all the usuals, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible, but I do appreciate your patience. If you think I deserve it, a good review can go a long way to help us grow our new community, and word of mouth is still the best form of advertising, so please tell your friends. If you want to leave a review about the podcast, you can do so on whatever podcast app you're listening on, and trust me, I read those, and they really matter to me, so please do that. Also, if you want to leave a review on the product, you can go to Facebook, and you go to murdycreative.co on Facebook, and you can go to the reviews section of our Facebook page, and then there's a question: do you recommend the Murdy Creative Company? You can just hit yes, and then type your review in there. You can also read our reviews. We've got 80 plus reviews of people who've really, really liked our product. So go check that out. If you have any podcast topics you want to hear more about, send them my way. I'm always happy to engage with our growing community, and I want to give you guys what you're looking for. If you're looking for multiple binders for gifts, giveaways, menus, really any reason, ask about our book discounts available. They make great corporate gifts if you're looking for something for your employees or your team or your friends or your family around the Christmas time, but we do have a little bit more of a lead time around the Christmas time for those kinds of gifts, so reach out to us now. We can make sure to get it all taken care of well in advance so that there's no delays. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and goodbye.